for the sake of your son or your daughter or whatever, work on yourself at the same. It's for the sake of your marriage,
right?
Exactly.
You can't come out of the do as I say, not as I do kind of a thing.
That's
and they're
right.
going to see through that.
You are a witness. This is where it becomes important as spouses to have conversations about how we're going to do these things. What are we going to do when they come home with this? We're in a time and place now where like pornography is the easy example to bring up. There's no longer if my kid comes home with some porn on his phone or something like that. No.
Yeah.
When my kid is, when I walk in the computer room or whatever, and my kid has porn on the screen, when that happens, or when someone sends
because
something
a lot of times it's not that the child is looking for porn, it's that the porn is looking for them. Like there's so many things that are it's like you slam, it's right in front of you.
Yeah. No, the majority of kids who encounter pornography now for the first time, the statistics tell us it's inadvertent.
Yeah.
Most of them are the age of in between 8 and 11, depending on the study you look at.
Yeah.
So 9 or 10 years old, and it's not on purpose. They're not looking for it. It's being sent to them somehow.
Yeah. So tell us. So I heard some of the things that like the porn industry. I heard two different things. One makes more money than Apple and Google combined.
Yeah.
And I heard that also the porn industry makes more money than all the professional sports combined.
It's the biggest industry in the world. Yeah.
So, and they're not just sitting back on their platform waiting for you to come to them. They're actively going out trying to find young eyes specifically to come to their stuff.
Yeah,
so
they have limitless money, and they have entire divisions of employees that are tasked with. For them, it's very sick and twisted. It's diabolical, right? But for them, this is marketing. I mean, they're looking to market a product to, and they know the science, and the brains that are most impressionable, and things like that. And the fact that when a kid sees it, they usually don't talk about it, and they turn inward, but they still are intrigued by it.
So then you take the phone and you just throw it away.
That's what you want to do.
I want to do that, right? But there are, thanks be to God, was it Covenant Eyes, right?
Yeah.
Covenant Eyes, you can go to their website, learn about their information. You get basically the filtering aspect of that, so that never comes across your child's tablet or the home computer or yours.
Right. It filters it, but I think even more important than the filter, it gives you a report of kind of weekly of their web activity and stuff like that, right? And I know married couples who use it too, just the spouses, so that they know there's no pornography problem in their house. It's just about accountability. How are you spending your time?
Because the goal of marriage is to get each other to heaven. The goal of family is to get each other to heaven. So if there's something that is going out there that is undermining marriage and family and our relationship with God, is twisting our hearts to this lie, then we need to address it. We need to be brave and say, look guys, we're going to be a little different. And we're going to do things this way. Why? Because I love you. And because I care about you more than anything else. And I want your heart to be set on the right path and not to be caught up in these lies that will trick and deceive us into what is true, good, and beautiful.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons sometimes that the temptation is to just take the phone and chuck it out the window.
Burn it.
A lot of times, first of all, so you're mad. Everybody's tempted to do that on some level. But sometimes we have that panic mechanism that comes in a lot of times because of what we know we have not done on the front end.
Yes.
And I think issues like this bring it up and make it easy to discuss why it's so important to, on the front end, from the earliest possible ages, try to be working with and teaching your kids some of these things.
Which means
having these conversations.
Which means I need to know why the church teaches what she teaches. Why is pornography wrong?
And
why is it evil?
I need to overcome my past and current addictions or hurts myself. A lot of when we started opening up this can of worms about a year ago in the diocese, a lot of the questions that came up really quickly, well, a lot of adults are using pornography too, and so how are we going to expect them to talk to their kids? Well, exactly. I mean, exactly. And so we do just have to address the elephant in the room. And if a very good thing to say is, for the sake of your son or your daughter or whatever, work on yourself at the same. It's for the sake of your marriage,
right?
Exactly.
You can't come out of the do as I say, not as I do kind of a thing.
That's
and they're
right.
going to see through that.
You are a witness.
So it's going to be your witness to striving in the faith, diving into that relationship with Christ where we get that grace, that accompaniment, learn what He's asking us to learn, understand what He's asking us to learn, to understand, and then to go out there and witness it. And the thing is that I just heard Father Mike Schmitz, his Ascension Presents. He's got this video, and he was talking about the sirens that were singing the songs and the different responses and the different stories. And Jason and the Argonauts, he basically had someone, I think it was Morpheus, who played as they passed. The sirens were attracting them, right? Because they were these creatures that were hideous, but when they sang, all of a sudden it changed the way that they looked. They looked gorgeous. They looked amazing, and it was so drawn in that you would go in there and then you would die. And so as he's approaching this temptation, he brings this person along who plays this music that is so beautiful and is able to drown out the lie, because he could see clearly what was more beautiful, what was real, and the attack wasn't there. So he passed through. So I think the whole thing is that we need to accompany them in that love and that relationship, not condemning, not trying to make them feel evil and all that, but to help them see the good, the true, and the beautiful, and that our hearts are made for that.
That's right.
That it's not made for lies. So that's the advantage is that we're on the winning team. What we're asking them to do is not something that's counter how their hearts are made. Their hearts have been made for the truth, for the good, for the beautiful, for what is love, and so we need to present that to them in the best way that we can, through the grace of Christ, and allow those lies to be seen as lies and to be left alone as lies.
That's right. I think two things to say on that are that, number one, when your child encounters something like that or whatever, I think we kind of respond in fear, reacting like that. So I think number one, it's to understand as parents that the fact that pornography or anything like it is appealing to them means that they're human and they're wired correctly, and it's they're of course they're entranced by it. There is something natural happening there that's displayed in a very unnatural way, obviously, right? A grave violation of it. But it's like, we're made for union, we're made for relationship, we're made for communion, we're made for unity. Of course that's entrancing to them, number one. It's just important for you to point out the lie, right? John Paul II saying that the pornography's problem is that it shows too little, not that it shows too much, right? And so it's like, there's a person there being stripped down into something less than a human, and we're using them as that. Point that out, talk about that. On the front end, though, that should, you hope, not be the first conversation you've ever had with your child, ever.
Right.
And for a lot of people these days, that's what they're saying. I don't really talk to my kid. Well, get in there.